Hi guys, I'm guessing you pressed on the video because of the shocking title. And guess what? That's exactly what you signed up for. Here are 10 things that happened to DiJonai Carrington. Watch until the end to see the message the WNBA sent throughout the community. 1. Dallas Wings trade DiJonai Carrington. The Dallas Wings have officially moved on from DiJonai Carrington, trading her to the Minnesota Lynx in exchange for 3 assets. Rising star Diamond Miller, veteran sharpshooter Carly Samuelson, and Minnesota's 2027 second-round pick. This trade follows months of controversy surrounding Carrington's on-court conduct, which had become a liability for Dallas. Management ultimately decided that the risks, repeated flagrant fouls, endangering both opponents and teammates, and even incidents requiring security intervention, outweighed any competitive benefits she brought. For Dallas, the deal represents not just a roster change, but a cultural reset. They've swapped a high-drama player for 2 proven talents who bring scoring, shooting efficiency, and professionalism, plus a future draft asset to help build for sustained success. Minnesota, however, is taking a gamble, adding a player known for chaos to a team already positioned as a championship contender. 2. The infamous Caitlin Clark eye poke. Carrington's reputation for dangerous play skyrocketed during the 2024 WNBA playoffs in a matchup between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever. While defending rookie sensation Caitlin Clark, Carrington's hand made direct contact with Clark's face, specifically targeting the eye area. The impact was immediate. Clark's head snapped back, she grabbed her face in pain, and she was later seen with a visible black eye. The play became the defining controversy of the postseason. Fans, analysts, and players widely condemned the act as intentional, pointing to the precision and force of the contact. Carrington, however, denied any malicious intent, claiming she was making a play on the ball and didn't know she had hit Clark in the eye. The lack of apology or visible concern afterward only deepened criticism. For many in the basketball community, this moment became the template for understanding Carrington's style. Aggressive, reckless, and often aimed at star players. It also marked the start of growing calls for league action against her. 3. 4 flagrant fouls and a pattern of targeting. In the current season alone, DiJonai Carrington has racked up 4 flagrant fouls, each reinforcing the perception that her play crosses the line from physical to dangerous. A recurring theme emerged: contact to the head and face of high-profile opponents. One glaring example came on June 4 against the Seattle Storm. Skylar Diggins was driving to the basket in transition when Carrington, instead of making a clean play on the ball, made direct contact with Diggins's head. Officials immediately ruled it a flagrant 1 foul, with slow-motion replays showing the play was clearly not a legitimate basketball move. Fans and analysts quickly connected this to earlier incidents, noting the consistency. Carrington's defense often ended with stars like Clark or Diggins being struck in vulnerable areas. Public sentiment hardened, with one viral comment summarizing it as, "That's not physicality, that's a trash play from a dirty player who doesn't belong on the court." By this point, the league and the Dallas Wings were seeing not isolated mistakes, but a pattern of reckless targeting that was damaging both her reputation and her team's credibility. 4. Injuring her own teammate. On May 21 against the Minnesota Lynx, Carrington's recklessness reached a new low. She managed to injure her own teammate while attempting another dangerous foul. The play began with Lynx forward Jessica Shepard going up for a shot. Carrington came flying in with her trademark out-of-control style, aiming for an aggressive block. Instead of making clean contact with the ball, she struck Shepard in the face, earning an immediate flagrant foul from officials. But the collateral damage was even worse. In the chaos of the play, teammate Paige Bueckers got caught in Shepard's fall, putting her at serious risk for a knee injury. Footage showed Bueckers visibly shaken, and Dallas players appeared frustrated that Carrington's recklessness was now endangering people in her own locker room. This incident cemented for many that Carrington wasn't just a tough defender having occasional mishaps. She was a liability to everyone on the court, opponents and teammates alike. Even Dallas management began to recognize they weren't just dealing with an image problem, but a player safety problem. 5. Security called after Chicago Sky game. The breaking point for many came on May 30, 2025, after the Dallas Wings' 97-92 loss to the Chicago Sky. Following the game, Carrington had a heated post-game exchange with referee Roy Golbian. Whatever was said escalated so quickly that Golbian made an unprecedented move in WNBA history. He called for security to intervene. This wasn't about a questionable call or a routine disagreement. It was about a professional official, trained to handle intense player confrontations, feeling unsafe enough to request backup. The moment stunned players, coaches, and fans, many of whom said they had never seen anything like it in the league. Carrington responded on social media by insisting it had been a civil conversation, a remark that critics took as proof of her lack of self-awareness. To them, if your idea of civil results in a security escort, it speaks volumes about your conduct. This security incident, layered on top of the eye poke, the flagrant fouls, and the teammate injury, became a final straw in the eyes of Dallas management, confirming that her presence was creating problems far beyond normal competitive fire. 6. No remorse, no accountability. Throughout all of her high-profile incidents, from the Caitlin Clark eye poke to the Skylar Diggins head contact, the Paige Bueckers injury risk, and even the referee security call, DiJonai Carrington consistently denied malicious intent and showed little to no remorse. In post-game interviews, she framed dangerous plays as accidents, often saying she was just going for the ball or didn't know she had made harmful contact. After the Clark incident, she openly questioned why she would intend to hit anybody in the eye, dismissing the idea as illogical, despite video evidence suggesting otherwise. On social media, her tone came across as defiant rather than reflective, with posts like her reaction to the referee incident portraying herself as misunderstood rather than at fault. This only deepened frustration among fans, analysts, and league observers, who felt she wasn't taking responsibility for her actions. For Dallas, this lack of accountability was almost as damaging as the fouls themselves. Without self-awareness or willingness to change, there was little hope her on-court behavior would improve, making a trade not just preferable, but necessary. 7. Dallas sees a liability, not an asset. By early summer 2025, the Dallas Wings leadership had reached a clear conclusion. DiJonai Carrington was no longer a competitive advantage. She was a liability. Her repeated flagrant fouls, escalating incidents with opponents, and even conflicts involving referees had shifted the conversation from her basketball skills to her behavioral risks. Worse, her actions were affecting team chemistry. Players had to worry not just about guarding opponents, but about staying safe when sharing the court with their own teammate. From a management perspective, Carrington's presence was a distraction that pulled focus from the Wings' season goals. Instead of building momentum in the standings, the team was stuck explaining away controversy after controversy. The organization realized that no matter her defensive potential or physicality, her lack of control and accountability outweighed any on-court contributions. In short, she was costing Dallas more than she was giving, and that meant it was time to cut ties. 8. Minnesota Lynx take the risk. While Dallas was eager to move on, the Minnesota Lynx made the surprising choice to acquire Carrington, a player known more for chaos than consistency, despite being in the middle of a championship-caliber season. At the time of the trade, the Lynx held a 24-5 record and were considered one of the top threats to the reigning champion, New York Liberty. On paper, adding depth made sense, especially after star forward Napheesa Collier suffered an ankle injury. But instead of securing a proven, reliable contributor, they brought in someone with a history of flagrant fouls, public controversies, and locker room tension. The move baffled analysts and fans alike, many wondering if Minnesota was sacrificing locker room stability for defensive aggression that often crossed the line. Some optimists argued coach Cheryl Reeve might be the one person capable of channeling Carrington's intensity into productive play. But skeptics questioned whether such deeply rooted behavioral patterns could be changed. In short, Minnesota wasn't just adding a player. They were importing a risk that could just as easily derail their title run as strengthen it. 9. What Dallas gained in the trade. For the Dallas Wings, the trade was more than just subtraction. It was a clear upgrade in talent and stability. Diamond Miller, the 2023 #2 overall draft pick, and WNBA All-Rookie team member. In her rookie year, she averaged 12.1 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game. By 2025, she was shooting an elite 53.8% from three-point range, offering Dallas a young, efficient scorer to build around. Samuelson, a veteran forward with career shooting splits of 41.1% from the field and 39.2% from beyond the arc. While recovering from left foot surgery, she brought leadership and professionalism, qualities Dallas sorely needed after months of drama. 2027 second-round pick, an additional future asset, giving Dallas flexibility to add depth or trade leverage in the coming years. Just as importantly, neither Miller nor Samuelson comes with the baggage of flagrant fouls, teammate injuries, or security calls. For Dallas fans, this was a fresh start, allowing the focus to shift back to basketball instead of damage control. 10. A league-wide message. The Carrington trade wasn't just a roster move, it sent a clear signal across the WNBA. Talent does not excuse behavior that endangers players or undermines the integrity of the game. For months, the league had faced criticism for allowing overly aggressive play that crossed safety lines, especially when high-profile players like Caitlin Clark were targeted. By moving Carrington out, Dallas publicly demonstrated that player safety and team culture take priority over any individual's physicality or defensive edge. It also showed other organizations that keeping a problematic player because of what they bring on the court can backfire when the off-court distractions and on-court recklessness pile up. The Wings' willingness to cut ties, even with a still young athletic defender, highlighted a broader truth. No one is untouchable if they compromise the team's success, reputation, or safety. Now Dallas can focus on building a cohesive, competitive roster, while Minnesota inherits the challenge and potential fallout of trying to rein in one of the league's most controversial players.